Hi, it's Tracy. Welcome to my home here in Sussex, England. This week we are outdoor decorating. It's summertime and I'm spending so much time outdoors. So we're going to work on the guest cottage veranda and we're going to go down to the stream where we've got a deck area that I haven't touched for years. It needs a complete makeover. Lots of thrifted finds, lots of vintage pieces, reusing, repurposing, and spending very little money. Oh, I just love summer. I love being outside. I love decorating outside. Before we start on this guest cottage veranda, we're going to go down into our field. Now, if you've not been here before, we're on a 3-acre property and we've got a 2-acre field here that we just cut pathways through and we let nature have a right old riot down here. This is my deck area. When I said I hadn't touched it for years, I was not fibbing. It is in desperate need of a jolly good cleanup. I created this area with my son in the first UK COVID lockdown, and the decking was actually made from the pallets that the cladding arrived on for the main house. There was no way I was going to waste them, and as the saying goes, waste not, want not. Now, these table and chairs, hubby thinks I should just tip them on the bonfire or use them in the wood burners. But I like to eke out every single drop of life in an item. So I think we are going to have a little go, see what we can do with them. One chair is a bit dodgy, so it might not make it through. But we'll start off with a really good power wash. Now, it would have been great if the power wash had taken off all the paint, but unfortunately it hasn't. The only way you would get all of that off, I think, is really with sandblasting, and it's just not worth it on something like this. So the big old Merker has come out, and we're going to give it a little run over with the sander. Time for the furry supervisor to make an appearance. Now, this is his baby bed. He likes to carry this around like a big toy, basically. I put mats out for him when we're working outside, furry mats, but he is obsessed with this little bed. I'm using the sander not to take every single little drop of paint off because, quite frankly, I've got a life and I've got other things to do, but just to brighten up the pieces. Now, I have been down to the deck. I'm not going to bore you with lots of sweeping and scraping, and I've managed to clean it up, but now it needs to dry. As I've not touched it for so long, it's just had layer upon layer of damp leaves on it. The steps, I filled all those up with stones, but when the water's been high, it's kind of washed them away. The deer come through. We've got badgers that come up there. So whilst all that was happening, I decided I'd refresh the garage block. I like to do this every year, just once a year, and this is the product that I use, and I always go on with a dark oak. It just keeps life super simple. I like to blacken up the hinges as well with whatever black metal paint I've got in the garage at that time. And whilst I had the product out, I decided I would refresh our sheds down in Shed City. Regular viewers will know these sheds, particularly this big one in the middle, because I keep a lot of home decor in there. We will be coming back to this one soon. I also decided that whilst the deck was drying, I would refresh this baby basket that I turned into a planter last year. It's lasted so well. It's been out here for a year now and it's gone through all the seasons. So all I've needed to do is just freshen up the compost. I picked up some geraniums from Home Bargains, just $2.99 for the size of these. And I think that looks tickety-boo. We will hopefully watch that grow throughout the summer. I then decided to have some downtime, so there was plenty of family golf. I popped over to Seville with my beautiful daughter, who is now 5 months pregnant. Yes, I am going to be a grandmother. We had the most lovely time, 4 days in this wonderful city, probably my most favourite city to visit. We stayed in a fabulous hotel. And just to have that quality time together, just to reconnect as mother and daughter without any dogs or husbands or relatives around us is wonderful. The hotel, loads of home decor inspiration. Look at this lamp. I couldn't resist getting my fingers in there and just seeing how it was constructed. I got so many different ideas. The room was absolutely just beautiful. I loved all the bathroom fitments, and everywhere smelt so beautiful. The staff were amazing, as were all the little treats they left us, as well as all the sightseeing and clothes shopping. Yes, I did come back with a lot of clothes. We did some home decor rummaging just to see what was going on, and a lot of the pots, very much my vibe. But look at these. I'm already doing these, and these are their new collection. So I'm ahead of the curve. It was wonderful to go away, but it's even more wonderful to come back. Now, let's get back to dressing that deck. If you saw my office makeover, you will know this rug. I took it down to my local charity shop and they didn't want it. Fussy. So rather than just taking it to the dump, I thought, you know what, I might get another little bit of life out of it. So I'm going to take it down to the deck and use it under the table. Bertie is eyeing that stream up because we are in the middle of a heat wave. So when I'm working down on this deck, it is 30 degrees plus. The boy's really good at drying himself, though. He likes to be a clean puppy. Now, let's go and do our only bit of shopping for this episode. And I've popped into Home Bargains and I'm looking for solar lights. Now, I had this idea of doing like solar chandeliers, and I couldn't quite find the fittings that I wanted. But never fear, another idea was brewing in my somewhat strange mind. Once I got these strands home, I actually had a different idea for them. So I don't think I'm going to use them this time, but I'm definitely using the bulbs. These are great, just 99p, and you just flick them on and then leave them to charge in the sun. Now we're going to need some other things. So shall we go and have a rummage in my storage shed? It's a new day and another heat wave day. Again, it's over 30 degrees, but it's nice and cool down by the stream. So we will push on with our decorating. Now, I made this wreath for the spring entryway video that I did. And this is just with clippings from the field, wrapping them round and round. And I did a wreath on the front door. So do check out that one if you want to see how I made it. These candelabras are desperate for a makeover. So I've got no qualms about using them down there. Probably when we get to fall, they'll come back up and I'll revamp them. And the same with this one. I've got a hankering to do something, not quite sure yet, with these light shades. I've already wrapped them in twine and I have been using them on lamps, but the lamp bases are now back in the storage shed. So we might as well utilize what we've got. No sense in spending money when you don't need to. Now, as we've got candelabras, we're going to need candles. I like to group all my candles together. So I do it by colour and, whether they've been used or not, they all kind of get grouped in there. And I just find for me, it is so much faster to be able to see, right, I've got enough candles for that or haven't got enough for that, to be able to just have an overview instantly. Fabulous. Now, back down to the stream, and with my wreath base, I've got out some jute, my glasses because I need them, and some scissors. I'm going to tie on 4 long lengths because I want to hang it from a branch up above. They're not very thick, these branches, but fortunately, there isn't going to be a huge amount of weight on this. This is something that you could do with any wreath base, and not just the base, it could be a fully decorated wreath, and you just put the wall side, if you like, the undecorated side, pointing upwards to the sky, and have your decoration showing below, and then you can attach whatever your imagination comes up with. I'm loving these bulbs, and in particular, you've got 2 different ways of hanging them. The little clips are perfect for this type of installation. Now with the lampshades, I'm going to use the same principle. So I'm going to attach some twine, hang them, and then add the bulbs. Now, of course, you don't have to have the shades covered in the wrapping. It's just they were already like that, and it would have been a waste of time just to unravel it all. You can pick up these shades, be it from pendant lights or lampshades, very cheaply from thrift stores, from charity shops. And once you've stripped all the fabric off, cleaned up the frame, you could spray paint them to suit your decor and then add something to them. The surplus light bulbs I just clipped to branches in a nearby tree. Let's move on to fabrics and tablecloths in particular. Now, this one you will have recognised from my porch decorating one. It's a Martha Stewart, picked it up at Home Sense. Colours in it work beautifully with the bulbs. I've also got this, what would you call it, blush pink one. Again, the colours work, but it's very long, so it's going to get dirty super quick. This is my £1.50 lace tablecloth that I picked up on my last episode, which was a shop and haul. And I'm actually quite liking this one, but which one would you have chosen? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to carry on with fabrics, and I'm going to bring down from the house some old ones that I've got. My fabrics go through a cycle, so they're used in the house, then they go out onto the verandas, and once I tire of them on there, or they're starting to look a bit faded, old, shabby, they're going to get downgraded to here. The tree trunks are going to be multifunctional, so they can be used as seats with the blankets or as side tables with the candelabras. Now, you may be wondering why I haven't put string lights through the trees. That's because the deer come through and rip them down. Time to decorate the table, and we're going to keep it super simple. I've got this lovely big white picture that I picked up. I think it was just £3, and you can see there's a little bit of chip on the lip there, but that's not going to be a problem outside. Bertie is needing to cool down again in the stream, so while we have a little chat, I'll fill up the picture with stream water and go and pick some flowers. We've got this wonderful meadow sweet flowering at the moment, and I love to use that in the summer months. And as we've got so much bracken and absolute abundance of the stuff, might as well use it. Now, as for this other candelabra, I do want to use it because I think it will create some balance, but it's too low on the ground. So back up to the storage shed and let's see if we can find something we could use. I could use that old chair, but I've got this side table and I think I'm going to use that. It was in a job lot that I got from auction and I keep meaning to give it a makeover, and then I keep bringing it out and using it anyway, and I use it in different places and then it goes back into the storage shed. Now I've popped some candles in there, but there's just one or two branches that are a little bit too close for my comfort, so I've snipped those off. Time to go and collect some wood for the little campfire. Now, I do collect kindling all the way through the dry months, just picking it up off the ground. Nice box of twigs there, although Bertie's not impressed. Call those twigs? That's a twig. So with a little spruce up, it's become a usable area again. We're going to be down here relaxing and entertaining all summer long. Just to let you know, I would never leave the fire or candles unattended down here. And there's always a bucket of water ready. Well, of course, we've got the stream to get it from. As the evening draws in, family and friends gather. It's a new day and a non-heat wave day. In fact, there is rain in the forecast and golly, we need it. These lawns are so dry and so brown. So now we're going to go on and decorate the guest cottage veranda. Last year, I introduced some colour, an Annie Sloan Capability Green, and I did lots of different items in that colour. I have been umming and ahhing whether to change it this year, but to be honest, we are having such a busy summer. The paint has held up really well, so I think that's going to be next year when I change those colours. I've got all my key items, my big items that generally don't come off, into position. And now we're going to bring on some more and create the framework, if you like. So first of all, I'm going to introduce a rug here. Now, this was a £10 charity shop find. I brought it onto the veranda last year, so it's had a full year out here. It is fading in some areas, but you know, I think we're going to get another season out of it. I'm going to pop a sofa here, and just to create a different look and feel, I'm switching sofas around. So this one used to live on the house veranda, and the one that's on the house veranda now used to live on here. Again, this one possibly should go in for makeover, but I think that's going to be next time. I'm going to add a chair here. Again, this is a thrifted item found in a charity shop. In fact, the two chairs. And you can pick up this conservatory style furniture for very little money. This table, I had another couple of chairs with this, £23 off eBay. You can't go wrong. Coffee table, we're going to drop one in here, and it's one that, again, I've used in different locations, and I changed the top to suit my decor, but I keep the base very neutral, so it's super quick. Just sand off and do a colour wash, and bing, you've got a new looking coffee table. So those are all my key items, my framework for that end. Let's focus on this end now. So again, I want to just reuse what I already have. The planter is growing well. I've not managed to kill anything, and it's adding that lovely vibrant pop of colour. These baby baskets, Moses baskets, they really do make super cheap containers, so look out for them. In here, I am going to add a rug. Now, this rug was the very first rug that I bought for this guest cottage veranda. I put it away because I didn't like the greys, but actually the green in it is exactly a match for the capability green. So I think we're going to use it. It's no point it just being rolled up in storage. You might as well get things out and enjoy them. Into this spot, I'm going to bring in the rocking chair that we normally have here. Again, this is standing the test of time. It stays out here undercover all year round. I did a colour wash with the Capability Green, super cheap way of decorating because it uses a tiny amount of paint. So that is our structure. The first layer I like to add now is fabrics. Fabrics make such a big statement. And again, I am going to reuse what I've got. So I'm not going to spend any money whatsoever. I'm pulling out things that, as I've said before, have gone through that cycle. This green throw here, originally in the house, then we used it out on the verandas, and it was actually green on the reverse as well, but it got bleached in the sun and it turned brown. So that works really well. This cushion was originally grey. It was in a sunny bedroom and it started to turn green. This one was a curtain. This slip cover I had for years and it was brown and mustard. And this one was a £1 slip that I found in a charity shop. Yay, the rain has started. I love the sound of it on the tin roof. Back to fabrics. Now, to stop the metal marks going onto fabrics from these rusty springs, I just slide a piece of cardboard between the springs and the back cushion that I am using as a seat cushion. Super comfy. I'm also using furry blankets because it does get cold here. We don't often have heat waves. And the cushions here are made out of charity shop fine curtains. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other chair. So that's the fabrics at this end. Let's move down to the other end and add some fabrics there. And whilst I do that, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you are liking this video, then please do, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button because that really does help the channel. If you are not subscribed, and please check whether you are, because I know lots of you think you are and then you're not. It's completely free. Just hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you get informed next time I post an episode. And of course, you can always leave a comment because I love to read your thoughts and opinions. And if you really love it, please share it with your friends and family. It really does help. Thank you so much. I'm adding more blankets to the £5 Moses basket that I found in my last episode, the last shop and haul. These blankets, we do actually really do use them. We had a friend from Miami staying in the guest cottage a few weeks ago. And whilst we were like panting like dogs in the sun, he was putting jumpers on. So he greatly appreciated those blankets. So that is our fabrics done. Now we're going to move on to my big dresser in the corner. And this is what it used to look like. Purple and yellow. Took me 4 days to strip. I then finished it off with the same paint product that I used on the cladding for the cottage, and it's an Osmo product. And because the wood was very different, it took the paint very differently. And I loved the effect. Never had to touch it since, apart from just give it a little wash down. Let's decorate this now. I had a comment about this potty saying it was disgusting to decorate with it. It's ornamental. I don't think anybody's body has ever been on the potty. I left this picture frame outside in amongst a plant display, completely forgot about it, but I'm loving the effect that it's created, so I'm going to start styling with it again. If you've been with me for a while, you know that I love mixing fresh and faux. Don't be afraid to use your faux outside. I find it really practical and I don't have to keep watering it. I am going to decorate this side table, but I think I'm going to wait till the rain stops and then we can go out and maybe choose something to pop on there. So in the meantime, we'll move on to the coffee table. Love a bit of coffee table styling. And I love to use trays. It's just a great way to corral items. Now, I'm often asked, how do you choose your decor? Well, here, this pot matches perfectly with the capability green. I'm adding another dish with the pinks, and the pinks work with the flowers, the blanket, with the fresh flowers. I like to repeat patterns. I like to link colours, keep pulling colours back. This candle here is a great match for the cushion cover, and it just helps to create this cohesive, considered styling. But never be a slave to rules. At the end of the day, if it makes you smile, it's your space, you're the one that counts. If it's making you happy, use it, do it. I'm bringing on a terracotta pot here, and then inside I'm adding just a cheap HomeSense pot, and it creates a different look and feel. I like vintage pieces, talking points. I've got a vintage stapler here and a key from my previous house that I found there, which was a big period property. The lawns are still getting a good watering. Let's carry on styling over this area. So this is an old bed head and I popped a mirror above just to create this focal point. I'm going to add a picture. I bought it for a previous project and never used it. Now, to stop it blowing off in the breeze, I've got some museum wax. So I'm just tucking that behind the frame, attaching it to the other frame, and it makes it really quite strong, quite secure for normal conditions anyway. Obviously, if we had a massive storm, well, then the whole lot would be gone, wouldn't it? But this is England, darlings. It's really quite a temperate climate. Regular viewers will know this candelabra well. It's been through several makeovers and it's a great way to use up all your stubby candles. So again, I would never light them without being here, and I'm just using up all the little old ones because I don't like waste. I also don't like big chunky outdoor sockets, so I cover them with a basket, or sometimes I'll use a vintage box as long as it's shallow enough in order that the door can open and close. Onto the vintage bathtub now. Now, these pipes are attached to some offcuts of wood. This wood was used to make the house veranda, and I attached 3 blocks onto a piece of scaffold board and just secured it onto the floor. They make great risers to put things on. So this crockery, I love to use vintage crockery outside, particularly if it's not precious. It just adds a quirkiness. It makes people double take. And, when they're cracked and you don't want to use them in the house, it's a great way of getting some extra life out of them. I'm also going to add this glass vase. Now, it's not vintage, but it's quirky. I like the colour. It works well. Obviously, it's watertight. So we need to go and find the hound, find the furry supervisor who has been a little bit remiss. He doesn't like getting wet. He loves swimming, but he doesn't like getting wet in the rain. So we're going to go down into the field and find some pickings for the veranda. I'm going to pick some more meadow sweet because I just absolutely love it. And we've also got a perennial in the field now that has self-seeded. I think it's called hemp agrimony, holy rope. We have it growing in the garden, and obviously the seeds must have blown over. It's really quite tall. It's lovely to decorate with because it comes out in gorgeous pink flowers. And of course, if I've got the name wrong, which I often do let me know in the comments below. Now, my cut flower bed is not doing amazingly well at the moment. I have got some herbs in there as well and some mint. And no, it's not going crazy and I stay on top of it. But I love to cut it and put it into arrangements because the scent, I just love the freshness of it just wafting around me. For that side table, I've chosen one of my hydrangeas. It's flowering beautifully, lovely pop of pink. I am going to talk more about hydrangeas in the next episode when I think we might be doing some kitchen decorating. I have a hankering to do a summer kitchen. And we will discuss all the hydrangeas. And oh my lordy, you need to see my Annabelles at the moment. They're huge. Their heads are bigger than my head. And if you watch till the end, you'll get a sneak peek of them in the distance.